Every single week, someone DMs me and asks me the same question. Bro, I have 3000 rupees and I want the best badminton racket. Not a toy, something I can actually play with and maybe compete with other players. What do I buy? And every time I see the same confusion. They would have googled best badminton racket under 3000, they would have watched 15 odd videos on YouTube, and they're more confused than when they started. Because everyone's recommending a different racket, everyone's got that sponsorship to push, and nobody is being straight with them. So today, I'm going to show you the racket that I actually recommend when someone asks me that same question. Not the one with the biggest brand name, not the one that gets me the highest margin. The one I genuinely think gives you the most biggest value for rupees 3000 in 2026. See, a shuttlecock weighs about 5 grams. Everybody knows that. Your phone, somewhere around 180, maybe 200 grams. And a standard badminton racket would weigh around 83 to 86 to 88 grams. That's what most of you are playing with right now. But this racket here just weighs 63 grams. Let that sink in first. This weighs less than a deck of cards and is almost as heavy as a tennis ball. You could hold this in your hand and for an hour and forget it's even there. And somehow it costs 3000 rupees and plays like a racket worth 5 times more. This is the Maxbolt Silver 7U badminton racket. And I think it's the most underrated racket right now in India. But before this, if you like simple, honest racket reviews, hit subscribe and press the bell icon. I test rackets weekly and share exactly what works. So, next time, when you think of sports, think God of Sports. Now coming back to this racket, when you first hold it, your brain doesn't process it. It feels like you are holding a frame with no strings. Like someone removed half the racket and forgot to tell you. But the moment you start swinging it, you realize that this isn't a gimmick. It's fast. Like genuinely ridiculously fast. At this weight, your reaction time at the net basically cuts down to half. Drives feel effortless, and in doubles, especially if you're a front player, this thing is a cheat code. Now I know what you're thinking. 63 grams. It probably feels like hitting with a paper plate. No power, right? Not exactly. The Maxbolt Silver is head heavy. The balance point is around 300 mm. So despite the crazy lightweight, there's still mass where it matters at the head. That means when you commit to a full swing, you actually get a decent shuttle speed. In terms of clears, very comfortable to the back. Drives are very sharp and drops. At this weight, your wrist does all the work. And the deception shots are gonna be insane. Where it genuinely struggles is steep heavy smashes from deep court. You're not gonna get that bone crushing power, but for the 80% of shots in a typical rally, this racket handles them surprisingly well. So let me be real about who should actually consider this racket, because genuinely it's not for everyone. And I think being honest about that is more useful than just saying everyone should buy it. So first type of player. If you're playing doubles and you're often at the front court with net kills, drives and fast exchanges, this racket's basically born for that. The speed advantage at the net is not subtle, it's night and day. Second type of players. If you're a senior player or someone who deals with wrist or elbow issues, 63 grams puts almost zero strain on your joints. You can play longer sessions without fatigue. I've had customers switch to this specifically for that reason and now they are loving it. Player type 3. If you're a beginner or an intermediate player who's been playing with a steel or an aluminium racket and you want your first upgrade without spending 5000, 6000 amount, this is a pure raw carbon graphite head heavy racket that handles up to 30 pounds of tension. At 3000 rupees, this is genuine performance. not just a toy. Who should probably skip this? If you're a rare court singles player who lives and dies by heavy smashes, you want something in 80 to 85 gram range, this racket trades raw power for speed and maneuverability. That's the trade-off, and it's worth being upfront about that. Here's the part that bugs me a little. Maxbolt is a Korean brand. They've been in the market since 2000. They're in 20 plus countries. Their rackets are built with premium Japanese carbon fiber designed in Korea, and the build quality is legit. But you walk into any badminton store in India and ask for a racket, what do they show you? Yonex, maybe Li-Ning, and maybe Victor if you're lucky. And that's fine. Those are great brands. I'm not telling they are not good brands. But the reality is, those brands spend crores on marketing, sponsorships, and athlete endorsements. That costs get passed on to you. Maxwell doesn't have PV Sindhu on a billboard. They don't sponsor the All England. So the rackets don't carry that brand tax. You're paying for its quality and engineering and the material, not the logo. And I think that's a conversation worth having, because I've seen players spend 12,000-13,000 on a racket they saw a pro use on TV and then struggle with it because it's either too stiff or too heavy or not suitable for their actual game. Meanwhile, something like the Maxbolt Silver at 3,000 rupees might genuinely suit their play and make it better. That's not a knock on expensive rackets. See, I sell them, I love them, but the right racket isn't always the most expensive one. Sometimes it's the one nobody told you about. Now, alright, let's break this racket down piece by piece, because I know some of you want the details before you pull the trigger, and honestly, the details on this one are what sold me. Speaking about the frame, it's carbon graphite. This is actual high modulus carbon graphite construction. Same material category you'll find in rackets costing 2x or 3x. In terms of the shaft, this is where the racket gets interesting. Maxbolt doesn't officially publish the flex rating for the Silver on their specification sheet, but from playing with it, I've put in serious hours on code with this. It feels like it's medium to medium stiff flex. What that means in practice, your shots have slight catapult effect. The shaft bends just enough to store energy on your backswing and release it on contact. That's actually ideal for this weight class because a fully stiff shaft on a 63 gram racket would feel dead. You wouldn't get enough momentum. The medium flex compensates for the low mass and actually helps generate that shuttle speed. Speaking about the weight and balance, the full picture. It's 63 grams, maybe plus or minus 2 grams. 7U racket. Balance point at 300 mm. That's slightly head heavy. This combination is quite rare. Most ultralight rackets go headlight to maximize speed, but Maxbolt deliberately kept the balance towards the head. Look, I'm not here to tell you to throw away your current racket and rush to buy this. What I'm trying to say is, if you have never heard of Maxbolt, if you have been sleeping on the ultra lightweight category, the Silver is worth trying, and especially at this price of 3,000 rupees. Come on. If you want to check it out, I'll drop a link below. And if you have already played with this racket or any other Maxbolt racket, tell me in the comments. I'm just curious what your experience has been. I'll catch you in the next one. Also, in case you need to buy a new racket and you have any query or facing any challenges in badminton, drop your query in the comments and I'll help you out for sure. Until, see you in the next video.